Stories of the Prophets, 6. The Story of Ibrahim, Abraham, peace be upon him, Part 1. Description of Abraham and his family. Some of the people of the book stated that his name was Abraham ibn Tariq, ibn Na'ar, ibn Saraf, ibn Ragu, ibn Falai, ibn Aher, ibn Shali, ibn Arphaxad, ibn Sam, ibn Noah. They said that when Tariq was 75 years old, he had Abraham, Nahor, Noah, and Haran. Haran had a son named Lut. They also said that Abraham was the middle child and that Haran died in the lifetime of his father in the land where he was born, the land of the Chaldeans, Al-Chaldean, also known as Babylonia. At that time some people worshipped idols of stone and wood, others worshipped the planets, stars, sun and moon, still others worshipped their kings and rulers. Abraham was born into that atmosphere, into a typical family of that ancient time. The head of the family was not even an ordinary idolater, but was one who totally rejected Allah and who used to make the idols with his own hands. Some traditions claim that Abraham's father died before his birth and that he was raised by an uncle whom Abraham called father. Other traditions said that his father was alive and was named as heir. Into that family Abraham was born, destined to stand against his own family, against the entire system of his community. In brief, he stood against all kinds of polytheism. Abraham's childhood. He was endowed with spiritual understanding from an early age. Allah enlightened his heart and mind and gave him wisdom from childhood. Allah the Almighty stated, "And indeed we bestowed aforetime on Abraham his portion of guidance, and we were well acquainted with him, as to his belief in the oneness of Allah," etc. Quran Ayah 21:51. During his early childhood Abraham realized that his father made strange statues. One day, he asked him about what it was he made. His father replied that he made statues of gods. Abraham was astonished and he spontaneously rejected the idea. Being a child, he played with such statues, sitting on their backs as people sit on the backs of donkeys and mules. One day, his father saw him riding the statue of Marduk and he became furious. He ordered his son not to play with it again. Abraham asked, "What is this statue, father?" "It has big ears, bigger than ours." His father answered, "It is Marduk, the god of gods, son." These big ears show his deep knowledge. This made Abraham laugh. He was only 7 years old at that time. Abraham's hatred for idols. Years passed and Abraham grew. Since his childhood his heart had been full of hatred for these idols. He could not understand how a sane person could make a statue and then worship what he had made. He noticed that these idols did not eat, drink, or talk, and that they could not even turn themselves right side up if someone turned them upside down. How, then, could people believe that such statues could harm or benefit them? Abraham's people had a big temple full of idols, in the middle of which was a niche accommodating the biggest gods which were of different kinds, qualities, and shapes. Abraham, who used to go to the temple with his father when he was a child, greatly despised all that wood and stone. What surprised him was the way his people behaved when they entered the temple. They bowed and started to cry, begging and imploring their gods for help as if the idols could hear or understand these requests. At first, such a sight seemed funny to Abraham, but later he began to feel angry. Was it not astonishing that all those people could be deceived? What added to the problem was that his father wanted him to be a priest when he was grown. He wanted nothing more from his son than that he revere those statues, yet Abraham never stopped displaying his hatred and disdain of them. Abraham reasons with the celestial worshippers. His people disputed with him. He said, "Do you dispute with me concerning Allah while He has guided me, and I fear not those whom you associate with Allah in worship? Nothing can happen to me, except when my Lord, Allah, wills something. My Lord comprehends in His knowledge all things. Will you not then remember? And how should I fear those whom you associate in worship with Allah, though they can neither benefit nor harm? While you fear not that you have joined in worship with Allah things for which He has not sent down to you any authority. So, which of the two parties has more right to be in security? If you but know, it is those who believe in the oneness of Allah and worship none but Him alone, and confuse not their belief with zulm, wrong, i.e., by worshipping others besides Allah. For them, only, there is security and they are the guided. And that was our proof which we gave Abraham against his people. We raise whom we will in degrees. Certainly your Lord is all-wise, all-knowing." Quran Ayah 780-83. In that debate, Abraham clarified to his people that these celestial bodies do not serve as deities and cannot be worshipped as partners with Allah the Almighty. Indeed, these bodies are created things, fashioned, controlled, managed and made to serve. They appear sometimes and disappear at others, going out of sight from our world. However, Allah the Almighty does not lose sight of anything, and nothing can be hidden from Him. He is without end, everlasting without disappearance. There is no other deity but Allah. Abraham made clear to them, first, that the celestial bodies are unworthy of worship and, second, that they are among the signs of Allah. Almighty Allah commanded, and from among His signs are the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. Prostrate not to the sun nor to the moon, but prostrate to Allah who created them, if you, really, worship Him. Quran Ayah 41:37. The celestial worshippers' arguments. Abraham's reasoning helped to reveal the truth, and then the conflict between him and his people began, for the worshippers of the stars and planets did not stand mute. They began arguing and threatening Abraham. Abraham replied, "Do you dispute with me concerning Allah while He has guided me, and I fear not those whom you associate with Allah in worship. Nothing can happen to me, except when my Lord, Allah, wills something. My Lord comprehends in His knowledge all things. Will you not then remember? And how should I fear those whom you associate in worship with Allah, though they can neither benefit nor harm? While you fear not that you have joined in worship with Allah things for which He has not sent down to you any authority. So, which of the two parties has more right to be in security? If you but know, it is those who believe in the oneness of Allah and worship none but Him alone, and confuse not their belief with zulm, wrong, i.e. by worshipping others besides Allah. For them, only, there is security and they are the guided." Quran Ayah 680-82. The curtains are drawn on the first category of people, those who were worshipping celestial bodies. The next situation reveals the second group, those who were practicing idolatry. Abraham reasons with the idolaters, Surah 21. Allah gave Abraham the reasoning he needed the first time and every time he argued with his people. Almighty Allah declared, "And that was our proof which we gave Abraham against his people. We raise whom we will in degrees. Certainly your Lord is all-wise, all-knowing." Quran Ayah 683. Abraham did his best to make his people heedful to the belief in the oneness of Almighty Allah and to the worship of Him alone. He bade them to firmly renounce the worship of idols. He said to his father and his people, "What are these images, to which you are devoted?" They said, "We found our fathers worshipping them." He said, "Indeed you and your fathers have been in manifest error." They said, "Have you brought us the truth, or are you one of those who play about?" He said, "Nay, your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who created them, and of that I am one of the witnesses." Quran Ayah 21:52-56. Abraham reasons with his father. All was finished between Abraham and his people and the struggle began. The most amazed and furious was his father, or his uncle who had raised him, for, as it is well known, he not only worshipped idols but sculptured and sold them as well. Abraham felt that it was his duty as a good son to advise his father against this evil so that he could be saved from Allah's punishment. Being a wise son, he did not make his father feel foolish, nor did he openly laugh at his conduct. He told him that he loved him, thereby hoping to generate fatherly love. Then he gently asked him why he worshipped lifeless idols who could not hear, see, or protect him. Before his father could become angry, he hastily added, "O my father! Verily, there has come to me of knowledge that which came not unto you. So follow me, I will guide you to a straight path. O my father, worship not Satan. Verily, Satan has been a rebel against the most beneficent, Allah. O my father, verily, I fear lest a torment from the most beneficent, Allah, overtake you, so that you become a companion of Satan, in the hellfire." He, the father, said, "Do you reject my gods, O Abraham? If you stop not this, I will indeed stone you. So get away from me safely before I punish you." Abraham said, "Peace be on you. I will ask forgiveness of my Lord for you. Verily, He is unto me, ever most gracious. And I shall turn away from you and from those whom you invoke besides Allah." Quran Ayah 19:43-48. Abraham debates with the idolaters. His father's harsh treatment did not stop Abraham from delivering the message of truth. Angry and sad to see people prostrate before idols, he was determined to stamp out these practices and went to the town to debate with the people, knowing full well that he might suffer harm. Like a wise doctor searching for the cause of a sickness so as to prescribe the proper cure, or like a judge who questions the accused sharply so that he might detect the truth, Abraham asked them, "Do the idols see you when you prostrate before them? Did they benefit you in any way?" They quickly tried to defend their beliefs. They argued that they knew their idols were lifeless but that their forefathers had worshipped them. To them this was proof enough for their belief. Abraham explained that their forefathers had been wrong. This angered them and they retorted, "Are you condemning our gods and our forefathers? Or are you just joking?" Abraham showed no fear as he replied, "I am serious. I come to you with a true religion. I have been sent with guidance from our Lord who alone is worthy of worship, who is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and who regulates all affairs of life. Unlike the dumb idols which are just stone and wood. To convince them that the idols could not harm him, he challenged, "I have already condemned them, if they had any power they would have harmed me by now." Abraham reasons with the idolaters, second time. Almighty Allah recounted, and recite to them the story of Ibrahim. When he said to his father and his people, "What do you worship?" They said, "We worship idols, and to them we are ever devoted." He said, "Do they hear you, when you call on them? Or do they benefit you or do they harm you?" They said, "Nay, but we found our fathers doing so." He said, "Do you observe that which you've been worshipping, you and your ancient fathers? Verily, they are enemies to me, save the Lord of the Alameen, mankind, jinn, and all that exists, who has created me, and it is he who guides me, and it is he who feeds me and gives me to drink. And when I am ill, it is he who cures me, and who will cause me to die and then will bring me to life again. And who, I hope, will forgive me my faults on the day of recompense, the day of resurrection." Quran Ayah 26:69-82. In another surah the Almighty revealed, "And, remember, Abraham when he said to his people, worship Allah, alone, and fear him, that is better for you if you did but know. You worship besides Allah only idols, and you only invent falsehood. Verily, those whom you worship besides Allah have no power to give you provision, so seek your provision from Allah, alone, and worship Him, alone, and be grateful to Him. To Him, alone, you will be brought back. And if you deny, then nations before you have denied, their messengers. And the duty of the messenger is only to convey the message, plainly. Say, travel in the land and see how Allah originated creation, and then Allah will bring forth, resurrect, the creation of the hereafter, i.e., resurrection after death. Verily, Allah is able to do all things. He punishes whom He wills, and shows mercy to whom He wills, and to Him you will be returned. And you cannot escape in the earth or in the heaven. And besides Allah you have neither any wali, protector or guardian, nor any helper. And those who disbelieve in the ayat, proofs, evidences, verses, lessons, signs, revelations, etc., of Allah and the meeting with Him, it is they who have no hope of my mercy. And it is they who will have a painful torment.